All right, hello, welcome. This is going to be a playthrough of A Tale of Two Brothers, the first campaign in the Battle for West North mainline campaigns. So originally, I was just going to run through this campaign, just blitz through on the max difficulty and just record. But I then realized that after looking through most of YouTube, there's not a lot of videos. It's a very niche game, is the problem. So if I did do that, most people probably wouldn't understand what was going on. So what I'm gonna do for this small series here is that I'm just gonna walk through the campaign and explain all the game mechanics one at a time. And this campaign here is very good as a beginner series because it pretty much introduces the player to all of the core mechanics and a couple of the advanced ones. And especially if you play it on the harder difficulty here, uh, it's actually quite fun. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because the beginner difficulty is too easy. You could just do it with both eyes closed, and you don't really learn anything. Uh, and the flip side to this is that since there's only two difficulty settings, if you do the harder one, if you mess it up early on, you basically lose the whole campaign. It's one of those kind of games. Well, for this campaign specifically, where it's either too easy or too hard. So we're gonna do it on the max difficulty here, the Grand Knight. Um, the way I'm gonna do it is that if I do lose a mission, I'll just redo the whole thing. There's this term called save scumming, or there's a couple of names to it, but basically the game lets you reload certain turns as you play through a mission. So usually what people do is that if a turn goes badly, they just reload the turn and then do it again. Now, I quite frankly don't see why there's a lot of vitriol against people who do that. I mean, if so long as you play the game and you have fun, you do what you do, you know? Um, but for me personally, I don't shame people who do it, but I don't do it myself. I only do it if I'm trying to learn or figure something out, you know? So, like, for this campaign here, I've played it through at least 15 times in the last 2 days, trying out different strategies to see how the scenario works out, you know? So, I had a reason why I was doing it. It was experimenting. But for this playthrough here, I am going to play it all the way to the end, and if I lose, I will restart the whole scenario again and then try at it again. I won't start the whole campaign, but just that scenario. And I still haven't decided if it goes really badly because some of these playthroughs they do take like several attempts. I'm not sure if I will upload every attempt or just upload the last attempt. Uh, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anyway, so it's going to be The Tale of Two Brothers. It's a 4 mission campaign, 4 scenario campaign. We're going to be playing it on the max difficulty. And I'm going to walk through most of the game mechanics as we encounter them. So this video here, I'm going to try keep it as short as possible. I got my stopwatch running. Actually, I forgot to keep it, but now it's running. So I'll try to keep it to 15 minutes or around 20 minutes or less and break up the parts of the videos accordingly to that kind of time schedule. So yeah, so this first episode here is going to be like a part 0. So I will just run through all of the basic mechanics in the user interface and how the game works basically. And then the next episode will be us actually playing the first scenario and continuing on the campaign. So let's begin with that. So there's always a story and whatnot. I'm not going to even bother. Just to cap it off, basically, there's 2 main characters. They're 2 brothers. One's a wizard and the other's a knight. We're playing the brother that's a knight, and the 2 of them are part of this village. Well, basically, they're both of them are soldiers. Basically, one's a combat wizard, the other is a mercenary, and they have a undead incursion that's going on. So it's our job to figure out what's going on here because people don't just walk out of their graves for no reason. So in this first mission here, okay, so the way the game works is that they always give you this mission objective tab. So right here, it lays out all the victory conditions, all the basically all the victory conditions. And also you have the defeat conditions, I suppose. Like these are the things that if they get fulfilled, you lose, basically. So we need to kill the evil mage, which is off to the northwest here. I'll show him in a second. That's how we win. We lose this mission if our main character, the knight, dies, or if we run out of turns. It says here 18 turns. You can find out how many turns are left in this top left corner here, where there's the flag. Tells you what the current turn is and how many turns are remaining in the scenario. And there's usually extra text here depending on the scenario. It gives you extra information. So in this case here, if we finish it early, we carry over 40% of our gold to the next scenario. So yeah, that's handy information here. So, okay. We'll just run through like the basic game mechanics. So okay. Battle for West North is a turn-based strategy game. Not really strategy; it's more tactics because it's all individual units. The base unit is people basically. So here, right here, if you have a look, this is our current army right here. For this campaign, we start off with an army. In other campaigns, you don't. You have to build it up as you go on your campaigns. But because this is a beginner campaign, basically, they give you a small army to begin with, so you don't need to think about how much what you need to do with it, really. So we've covered the objectives. Now we'll cover the recruit and recall. So the way you get more units is you buy them. So if you look to the top left here, you have gold. So it's next to the turn number. You have the gold amount. So this is the only currency in the game. It's only gold. There's no like mana. There's no like gas or anything like that. There's only gold. It's the one currency. Now, if you look over to the right, you can see your upkeep and your income. So this here with the plus sign is the income, and this one here with the negative sign is the upkeep. So every time you have a unit deployed, it has an upkeep cost, and it drains on your gold reserves. Now, the way you get money in this game is you capture villages, and villages are basically these houses right here. If you hover over the hex with it, and you look over to the right hand in this corner here, it will tell you what kind of hex tile it is and what kind of building is on it. So these villages, if you capture them and you put your little flag on it, that indicates which faction has control of that village. They give you income, basically. I should have double checked how much income they actually gives you, but I'll go figure that out for the next video. That's the way you get money. So every time you capture a village, that gives you income, and then that gives you gold. So once you have the gold, what you can do is that so long as your leader unit, all right, you can identify the leader units by the icon on the top left of the unit. So in this case here, you can see that all of our units have a little icon below the orb. So all of these smaller units have a gold bar that indicates that they are loyal units. And loyal units are quite rare, especially throughout campaigns. And basically that means that they require no upkeep. So this entire army here requires no upkeep whatsoever. So this is a very forgiving campaign. They give you a small army which requires no upkeep. If we are to recruit extra units, however, they are not going to be loyal units and they are going to require upkeep. So the way you do that is that you need to have your leader unit, which can be identified by a crown. I realize now that trying to look at it here from recording the video that you're not going to be able to see the crown icon, but trust me, it's there. It's a crown icon, and you'll be able to figure out by just clicking over the unit. It'll display you which is the leader unit. So this is our knight here. He's the leader, and so long as he's on a keep or a castle, right? Which if you look to the right-hand screen here, it tells you there this is an encampment keep. This is the recruiting zone, basically. So you need to have your leader unit in a recruiting zone like this, surrounded by castle tiles, and that will allow you to deploy more units. So in this case here, we are starting already in a keep. And what we can do is we can either go to the action tab on the top left, and you can either recruit or recall, or if you're a veteran player, or as I'm telling you now, this is the better way to do it. You just right click on a castle tile and then do the recruit and recall. Because if you do the action here from the top left corner, it will just randomly spawn it anywhere in the castle. Whereas if you do the right click, you have control as to where you deploy. And I recommend that if you're a beginner, you get familiar to doing the right click on the specific tiles to deploy your units, because in other scenarios and missions, when you get sieged or if you're under attack, it's very useful to be able to deploy your units specifically where exactly you need them to be. So I'm just going to demonstrate here because we actually do need to get some more guys. I'm going to recruit an extra unit. So here is your unit roster. So for every scenario, there is going to be a different type of unit roster. In this campaign, however, you're stuck with just one set this year. There's an exception to this in the second scenario, but we'll get to that later. But basically, you're set with your army composition can only ever be these units. Granted, in certain campaigns, you get units. So as you progress through certain campaigns, they will give you extra units that you can recruit or recall. Or in certain cases, you are given one unit that you can't recruit or recall. Well, that you can't recruit, sorry, but you can recall. And if you lose that one unit, then it's gone from the entire campaign. So those are very valuable strategic assets. Certain campaigns have that given to the player, but in this campaign here, especially on this difficulty setting, we don't get that. In the easier difficulty setting, we actually do meet an extra character in the second scenario that gives us the ability to recruit heavy infantry. But because we're on the max difficulty, that guy's not going to show up. It's going to be a lot harder for us to deal with the undead fellas. So this is the army composition that we have here that we are allowed to bring in. So we have bowmen, footpad, horsemen, and spearmen. So just to recap, we're playing as the humans. They're called loyalists in Battle for Westnorth, but I'm just going to refer to them as humans. There are at least almost, I think, a dozen factions now. They've added quite a few subcategories over the years. But in this matchup here, we're humans versus the undead. And this is the evil mage right here in his little castle. So we got to kill him, is the guy that we need to kill. So each faction has their own strengths and weaknesses, right? And the humans are my favorite because they don't specialize in anything. They're not particularly good at any one kind of strategy or tactic, but they are the most diverse. They are the most flexible. You can always find something in their unit roster that will be able to help you in a certain situation, whereas in certain other factions, they usually have a weakness in a certain aspect, but not with humans. The humans usually have at least some kind of unit to fulfill some kind of tactical necessity. In this case here, however, of course, we don't have all of the units, because in this campaign, we're only limited to these, but this right here is good enough. We've got all the units that we're ever going to need to fight through all the enemies that we're going to have to face in this campaign. So I got a little bit carried off there, but let's go back to the recruiting. So you right-click on the castle tile, you click recruit, and what we're going to do here is we're going to pull a footpad fellow, because these guys are going to be very helpful against the undead in this specific scenario here. So we just either double-click it, or you can just select it and then click recruit. The amount that it costs to recruit them is here. So this is 14 gold. So it's going to subtract 14 gold from our 25 gold reserve. Click recruit, and voila, it appears. Came out of nowhere. So yeah, that's how the recruitment and the... Okay, so the recall action. So right now we can't recall anybody because this is the first mission. So the way it works is that as you progress through a campaign, at the end of every scenario, all the units that are on the board, they basically get put into a recall tab. So that when you start the next scenario, you have the ability to call back these units that you have right now into that mission. This is very useful once you start getting like higher level units and experience units. That's where it really pays off. The problem with the recall action is that it costs 20 gold to recall a unit. That's the base cost. So, for example, this footpad that we just recruited here, that costs 14. If for some reason we want to bring this specific footpad back into the next scenario, we'd have to pay an extra 6 gold. So the cost reward system there is assuming usually it's an experience. It's got some experience on it, which we will cover later. You're paying the extra gold for the experience that the unit has in the hopes that it will get promoted into a higher tier unit. But we'll get to that in the next scenario when it becomes relevant. So, okay, we've covered the recruit, recall, income, the upkeep. Okay, so since I've already touched upon the experience, we'll talk about the units themselves. So if you click on a unit, you can see that there's like bars next to it. So right now there's green bars, green vertical bars next to each unit. The green bar is their health. Now the better way to look at it is that you just click on a unit and have a look on the right hand corner here. Here you have all the detailed numbers regarding what the unit is and what's its status. So in this case here, the loyal footpad to the north here, it's got a name. It tells you what type of unit it is. Short description there. But here's the HP. So this is the green bar. So it has 28 hit points out of 28. So it's max HP. And below that, you have the XP bar. So when the XP bar starts getting filled up, that's when a second bar will appear next to the unit. But of course, you don't really want to use the bars. The bars are just useful visual indicators to tell you that this unit is almost ready to promote or is almost dead, depending on which bar you're looking at. But those are the two main bars that all the units will have as the game progresses. So the XP bar here, a unit can get experience points by just being in combat and of course killing enemy units. If you kill a unit, you get a decent amount of XP. I believe the way it works is that if you kill a level 0 unit, you get 4. If you kill a level 1, you get 8 XP. And then after that, it adds extra 8 XP for every tier that you kill. So a level 2 unit, if you kill a level 2 unit, you get 16 XP points. So forth. So that's the XP bar here. And once you reach the XP cap, that's when the unit will level up. So right now here, the footpad is a level 1 unit. And the level 2 variant is called the Outlaw. It's basically a fully upgraded, it's got more health, can move move further, has better weaponry, better attacks, this, that, and the other. As we progress through the campaign, every time that one of the units gets leveled up, I'll walk you through all the different characteristics and abilities that they have. But that's the core mechanics there regarding the hit points and the experience points. You have the movement points here, which is nice to see. So you can see what's the cost of moving. In this case, the footpad has a total movement cost of 8. It can move 8 hexes. Well, it not really move 8 hexes. As you can see here, it takes a certain amount of movement points to move into different terrain, which we will get to in a second here. But yeah, that's an easy way to see here. The visual indicator for the movement points is the little orbs that you see in the top left corner of the units. So if it's green, that means it has its maximum amount of movement points. If it's yellow, means it only has a few more movement points. And if it's red, like the unit that we just recruited, that means it has no more movement points. It can't move, it can't attack, it can't do anything like that. The reason why this one is red is because we just recruited it. We just bought it. So every time you buy or recall a unit, it starts off as it starts off with 0 actions, basically. You can't do anything until the next turn. So, okay, we talked about the orbs, we talked about the HP. Okay, the movement. Okay, we can carry on with the movement. I'll talk about the combat in the next video once we actually start getting to combat. And also I'll talk about the time of day and the healing as the combat begins. So the last thing that I'm going to talk in this video is regarding the movement. So the footpad is very versatile and flexible unit. It's basically a skirmisher. There's quite a lot of units in the human roster that are skirmishers, but this one is the one that we have available to us right now. So if you click on a unit, you can see the highlighted hexes. This is where it can move. So as you can see, the forest doesn't hinder the movement of the footpad because it's a skirmisher, light infantry kind of fella. He can go right through them like it's nothing there. And the way you move it is just left click, then you pick the hex that you want to move it, and then you right click. In this case here, yeah, we can move the guy here, I suppose. Oh, sorry, not right click, left click. This is all left click. I'm getting confused with my RTS games here. So that's how that works. If we have a look at the spearmen infantry, you can see that they can't move as far because they're not heavy infantry, but they're normal infantry. So they have a limited maneuverability, and they also have terrain modifiers regarding forest and hills. So you can't see it here. Actually, yeah, here. Okay, this is a good example. You can see here, we select this spearman further up north, that he can't move into these forest hexes because it's too far for him. He can move into this one here because it's a little bit closer. But basically, every time you move a unit into a hex, it takes away movement points. And because this is a normal infantry unit, they get negative modifiers for moving into mixed terrain. That's the term that the game has. And mixed terrain is basically forest, hills, mountains, this, that, and the other. So that's why he can't move here, because it's hindering him. In the next turn, if we move him up forward, in the next turn, when he starts with his full movement points again, he'll be able to traverse it, but it'll be at a slower pace. He won't be able to move as far because he has to go through the forest. So that's how the movement here works. We select the horseman here. You can see that he's got a lot of maneuverability as well. He can go a little bit further than the footpad, but the problem with the horsemen is that they also suffer from the negative terrain modifiers regarding forest. So that's why he can't move here from here. He'll have to get closer, start the next turn, and then traverse it with all of his movement points. For first timers, for playing war games, especially with like hexes and whatnot, this may be a little bit confusing for the beginning, but yeah, you'll get used to it. And the game is really helpful because it shows you, it highlights you how far it can move and where it can move. So there's that. I just realized we're getting to the 20-minute marker, so that pretty much covers everything for this part 0. So the next video, we're actually going to play through the campaign and the mission and get into combat. And as we get into combat, I will explain the mechanics regarding combat. So yeah. Okay, so welcome back. This is going to be part 1 of the Tale of Two Brothers campaign. So I spent 21 minutes talking about all the game mechanics in the last video, and I haven't even started the combat yet. So this scenario is probably going to be 2 parts on its own, because I still haven't even started talking about the strategy regarding playing through campaigns. So we will get through that now, and I'll try cap it off at 15 minutes this time instead of going over. Okay, all right. So the way we want to run it here, right, is that for this scenario here specifically, we just have to kill this fella here and not die ourselves, and do it within 18 turns. There are a lot of ways you can play this scenario, right? One way, the most mainstream way, is that you utilize your cavalry units, your horsemen, and deploy them up in the north here, because there's open plains, open fields. You got a couple of villages off here to the right, and one that's really close to the keep. So you got plenty of bases to, plenty of places to heal and recover your health, and plenty of room to maneuver for horses. As I mentioned before in the previous video, the horsemen, they have negative terrain modifiers when they're operating in mixed terrain, like forest and whatnot. So trying to deploy them here wouldn't be ideal. So the main strategy usually is to deploy all of your horsemen up north and then deploy the rest of your infantry into the forest here. Now, granted, as I mentioned before, the normal infantry, the spearmen and the bowmen, they get negative terrain movement modifiers. But in terms of combat, if you put an infantry in a forest or a mountain or some of these hills hexes, they actually get defense modifiers. So they operate well in combat. It's just maneuvering takes time, if that makes sense. As the game progresses, I'll be able to illustrate it a little bit better. The exception to this is the footpad, because they're the light infantry, the skirmishers. They just operate well in all of the hexes. Well, not all. River hexes is pretty much negative to almost all units except for the merfolk. Yes, but we don't encounter them here, so we're not going to talk about them. But yes, so that's the big advantage of the light infantry here. Okay, so if you were to play this scenario on the easy difficulty, you could totally just play it normally, where you have all your horsemen go up north, and then you have all the infantry go up to the south here, and you do a double pincer maneuver. And basically, you can assassinate this guy with your horsemen. You just let him deploy his units forward, and as they overextend, you can flank around and then just assassinate and kill him, and that ends it. The problem occurs now if you're playing on the higher difficulty is the campaign situation. as I said before, your units carry over into the next mission. The ones that survive and the ones that have experience. And also your gold, some of it carries over as well. Now, these are the strategic considerations in the game. We are not going to be able to finish this campaign if we don't play this and the next scenario in a specific way, because it's very hard. As I said before in part 0, this and on this difficulty, this campaign is very difficult. The strategic considerations we have to have here is that by the end of this scenario, we need to have at least 2 units that are level 2. If we don't have 2 units that are at level 2 or about on the threshold of becoming level 2, we are not going to survive the next scenario. And if we don't survive the next scenario, we can't finish the campaign. We're just going to be stuck. It's important that we get experience units and that we fight this guy's units to get that experience before we kill him. Yeah, that's important. We have to build the army, basically, in terms of experience. So that's the strategic considerations for this scenario here. We need to get at least 2 units to level 2 or close to level 2. Now, I've already explained one strategy regarding deploying your units here. The other way you can do it is that you just concentrate your whole army and maneuver them through the forest here. You have to be careful with the horsemen, because if you put horsemen in forests, they're going to be very vulnerable and you are going to lose them very easily. But it's very possible to just concentrate all units in this one hex, not one hex, but this one area here. Let the enemy come towards you and then engage them. And you will have a slight numerical advantage, which will easily win the battle for you. Yeah, so there's that. The big consideration here is the time of day. So if you look over to the right here, you can see the schedule of the time of day. So there's 6 different time zones, I suppose you could say, regarding the playthrough in this game. So us being humans, most of the human units are what we call lawful. So lawful units operate better in daytime. I think they get 25% extra damage. Or I think it's only damage. I might be wrong. They might get extra defense modifiers. But I'm pretty sure the main one is the damage. So if the humans are fighting in the day, they get a damage buff. If we are going to fight the undead at night, they are going to get a damage buff and we won't. And during times like this right now, where it's the dusk or dawn period, so there's a turn where it's neutral. Neutral units will get buffs to their damage, but for the undead and the humans in this case, we get no added benefits. So it's neutral ground basically at dusk or dawn. So when deploying our units here and trying to maneuver them, ideally we want to start the engagement just as the day is starting. And that way we get a good 3 turns of combat where we have a 25% damage bonus to the undead that doesn't have any. So yeah, you could, but because we're on YouTube and I'm going to be showing it on max difficulty, we're going to take the most aggressive strategy, which not a lot of people play, but I've played it a couple times now and it's worked out pretty well so far. But it could end terribly because, like I said, if I lose this scenario, I just have to restart it all over again and I'll probably have to just re-record everything. So, hell. Yeah, I'll probably do some editing so that you don't have to watch through the whole thing. I'll just capture all the important parts. But basically, the strategy that I'm going for here is that I'm going for this area right here. So as you can see, there's an extra keep here. There's a castle. There's a keep with 3 castle tiles. So this right here is actually a base. So long as I put my knight feller, my leader unit on this castle tile, I can start recruiting from here, which is a very, it's a closer forward operating base basically to attack this guy. It's dangerous because it's much closer to him, but considering we're already starting with an army, usually in the playthroughs that I've executed the strategy, it works out pretty well. It's pretty fine. The problem with going this aggressive is that we actually engage the enemy at the last turn of nighttime. So we're going to be at a disadvantage for the first turn of combat against the undead, but usually we can hold out, and there's a big reason why regarding the footpads, which I'll get to in a second. But that's the strategy that we're going here for. We're going to rush this middle area right here, get to this castle, and try put our infantry deployed in this forest. That way, when the enemy is going to attack us, they'll be out in open ground, and that will give plenty of targets for our cavalry to engage and knock them out. So yeah, let's get started with that. So we're just gonna start maneuvering our guys up forward. So here's all our cav units. So we got 3 horsemen and our leader unit, which is a knight who's level 2. This is the unit that you can upgrade the horsemen to if you get enough experience on them. And we're gonna try get an extra knight here, if possible. Let's just move the rest of the infantry up. So we can't move this fella here because if you recall from the part 0, this is the guy that we just bought. So he doesn't have any actions now. But when we start the next turn, he'll be able to move and whatnot. So yeah. So we've deployed everybody here. We're moving up forward. The problem with this aggressive strategy is that we forego going for the villages, which is where you get your income from. But as you can see here, we're already starting off pretty well. We get 8 gold per turn. We're at 11 right now. And all of our units that are currently deployed, except for this guy here, they're all loyal, so they don't have any upkeep costs. So this is why this aggressive strategy sort of works. We have a lot of innate advantages from the deployment zone that plays it quite well. But yeah, we're gonna forego the income and the economy. Just go straight for the enemy here. So once you've done moving and you have no more units to move, everything's red across the board, you just click the end turn button here and this will pass the turn over. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we click end turn. So okay, I should probably change that. So basically under the preferences, you can change the speed. So I always have it on accelerated speed, but because since I'm teaching the game, basically I better switch that off so that everyone can follow through the combat, especially the combat. It's when it gets really important to visualize all the animations. So I'm going to switch that off because you saw him deploy it really fast. That's not the normal speed. So we've passed the turn over and he's finished his turn. Now we've passed over to us. So the advantage that we had was that we started off with an army. He had to deploy his. All right. So that's what he did there. He was recruiting basically with all this magic and whatnot. So this is the unit this is the army that he's built up here. So he's got 2 zombies, a bat, a ghost, skeleton, and 2 ghouls. So I'll just run down the kind of units that he's operating here. The bat and the ghost are basically skirmishers, but they're not infantry. They're flying units. So they're pretty cheap, but they're pretty weak as well. They do, however, have a very high defense rating, so it's very hard to kill them. You have to get in a lot of attacks and get a little bit lucky with your hits, basically. But they don't do that much damage. But they are really annoying because they can fly. As you can see here, we can hover over their units and see how far they move. They don't suffer from a lot of the terrain modifiers regarding to movement, basically. So yeah, these are his skirmisher units. These zombies are corpses. They're dirt cheap, but they don't have good attack. They don't have that many attacks. They move very slow. Not particularly good units. Now, the ones that are scary are the skeletons and the ghouls. So the skeleton is basically comparable to our spearman unit that we have available. It's his basic infantry unit. So yeah, and it has pretty decent attack, especially at night, which we are in right now. But we'll get to them later. And what he has here is the ghouls. Now, the ghouls have a special ability called poison. So basically, if a ghoul manages to get a hit on your unit gets poisoned. And a poisoned unit basically loses hit points at the start of every turn until it reaches to 1, at which point it just stays at 1 hit point. So that's the poison ability here, which we will see come into play. And then as our units start getting poisoned, I'll tell you how the healing and the curing mechanics work. But yeah, this is the common army composition that he has here. So we're going to continue on with our strategy of rushing the middle keep here. So as you can see, all the units are moving a little bit slower. Should have changed that setting earlier. But yeah, here we go. Okay. So we've got all of our light infantry and cav guys over there. So now we start moving the normal infantry up. Okay. All right. So we've moved everything. Nothing else to do. Yeah, nothing else to do. So what's going to happen here is he's going to start deploying his units. A couple of them are going to come over to here. And it's at this point here, if you can see, time of day, we're still going to have a full turn in which he's going to have advantages. Now, here's the plus point regarding the footpads. The footpads are not only our light infantry skirmisher type units. If you can see, they are not lawful. They're actually chaotic, which means that they actually operate better at night. They get the 25% buff at night instead of day. This goes back to what I was talking about, the human faction, is that they have a lot of diverse units. They have answers to pretty much anything and everything. So in this case here, when it comes to fighting the undead, our footpads are basically the stopgap measure. So there are our scouts, our light infantry, our skirmishers, and our defense against the undead at night from this one unit right here. So what we're going to do is that once we get to this keep here, we're going to recruit a whole bunch of footpads, and they're going to hold out for the first turn of the night. And after that's over, as the enemy has already deployed, we'll be in a good position to wipe them out during the daytime. So yeah, let me pass the turn now. So I click end turn. Okay, so now everything's going slower here, so we can see them maneuvering. Okay. So regarding the RNG in this game, for this campaign and this scenario specifically, we can get screwed depending on how the AI decides to deploy its army, because it's different every time. The AI has, like us, a set roster, basically. The recruitment tab that I showed earlier, they have that kind of similar thing. So they only can deploy these many units here. But the composition of the army, that's always different every time, every playthrough. So in this case here, it's not that bad. But 4 skeleton, that's pretty powerful army right there. Plus 3 ghouls. Those are the main threats that we have to deal with here. These dark adept fellas, they are actually pretty dangerous as well. They're magical. They have magical attacks basically. They have no melee attacks. It's all range, but we'll get to that in a second here. But this is definitely one of the tougher army compositions that the AI deploys. So yep, well, doesn't matter. We're already committed to it, so here we go. So, okay, I put my leader character on the castle, the encampment, sorry, the keep. I can now have the ability to recruit more units, so that's what we're going to do. And as I said before, for fighting the undead, especially at night, footpads are the answer to our problems. So, okay, I need to wait one more turn to get another guy out, but that's okay. We've got enough here. Oh, I shouldn't have skipped that. Okay, the next time a combat occurs, I'll make sure to show it in detail. Now, we don't really want to commit all of our cavalry straight into this line here, because their second wave is going to come in, and if we're fighting at night with cavalry and get stuck into an infantry engagement, they're not going to last that long. So this isolated bat here, we can definitely kill him. So we're going to commit our forces to attack him. One thing that the game allows you to do is that you can always hover over the enemy units to see how far they can move. So if we deploy our cav along this side here, this way, if this hex here can get caught out, but I'm not too concerned about the zombies. Yeah, it's going to take another turn before our infantry catches up. So yeah, we're going to take this fight here. And once again, I forgot to show the tab. Okay, the next combat, I'll explain the tab on the thing. If I definitely put a guy there, he's gonna get slaughtered. You know what? Why not? Just to show. So basically, this is how the combat mechanics work. Right? Finally get to explain it. Oh my god, it's already 16 minutes. Okay, I will stop the video here, and then we'll continue in the next part, and I'll explain the combat in detail. Okay, so welcome to, this should be part 2, technically 3, because there's a part 0, but never mind, it'll be numbered part 2 basically. Alright, we're going to do the combat. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a very risky maneuver and send this horseman here to engage this zombie. He'll be isolated and alone, but it's necessary because I need something to prevent the enemy from attacking my leader unit, which is right out in the open here. Granted, he's in a castle tile, but since it's a horse, he's a cavalry type unit, he doesn't get all the modifiers that infantry would. So we're gonna do it. So I'm going to attack this zombie unit here. And now we come to the combat table. So we have our unit that's attacking here. We got his name, his type, level, whether he's lawful or chaotic, all of his traits. This is the target that we're attacking, the enemy basically. So we have the HP here and the XP. And here is the combat profile. So in this case here, both these units only have one type of attack, which is a melee attack. The horseman here has a spear that he attacks with a charge, and the undead fella here has a plague kind of thing, touch. It just grabs at you. So this is what we're dealing with here. And since there's only one type of combat to resolve, we only have one option here. It's the melee attack. So the way it works is that the attacker gets the initiative, so we get the first attack. So we get to attack first, and then after we do an attack, the opponent will then do a counter attack. Now the numbers here. So the first number means the amount of damage that an attack will deal. And the second number here is the amount of attacks that it will conduct. So right here, our horseman is going to do 2 attacks, 15 damage each. And the zombie here is going to do 2 attacks of 11 damage each. Now, the second number here, the percentage, this is the chance to hit. So basically, we're not guaranteed any hits and any damage. In this case here, the way it works is that we have a 60% chance of hitting the enemy, and if we hit the enemy, we deal 15 points of damage to his HP. Same goes for him. He also has the exact same 60% chance to hit, but he will deal 11 damage per 2 attacks. So as the combat resolves, as I've said, the attacker gets initiative, so we get to attack first. So we'll roll dice basically, attack once with 60% chance to deal 15. Then it'll pass over to the zombie, who will have a 60% chance to deal 11 damage. Then the second attack will occur because we each get 2 attacks. And yeah, you can always click this button here for the damage calculation. It gives you a bunch of stats and stuff. I don't quite actually know what all the numbers mean, but you can always look into that if you want. But the main information is all displayed here. When we get to a ranged attack, I'll explain the differences between the melee and the ranged. But for now, this is the bare bones combat mechanics of Battle for Westnorth. So we're going to click attack, commit the horseman. So he put one... okay, so we got really lucky there. So you saw there, because we were the attackers, we got first initiative, we attacked first. We rolled 60%, got a good hit, dealt 15 damage. The zombie then counterattacked with his own attack, and he missed. He got the last 40%. Our horseman then conducted its second and final attack, another 60% chance to hit to deal 15 damage, and he did. And then the zombie, because he died, didn't get a chance to do his second attack himself. So yeah, that went really well. Nice. Okay. So what am I going to do here? Okay, looking at the movement values, I can safely deploy my horsemen here. So basically, these 2 horsemen here, we're in a position that once it turns into... well, we actually have one more turn before it turns into proper daytime. But it's about to become dawn. So we'll be in a position here to flank around the enemy and get some good charges in on their soft targets here. Yes, I'm going to have to discuss the damage types and the resistances, but we'll do that in a second. Right now, I just need to move my infantry up. Okay, there we go. Make sure we didn't leave anybody behind. Okay. And then turn. Yes, do we have anything else to do? I could still move and attack with my HQ unit, but that would be suicide. If I try to attack either one of these, we're going to get jumped by the rest of their follow-on forces. So nope, we're just going to enter in here. Aha, okay, what is it? Okay, so that was a range attack, and so is this. Okay, there's a special ability regarding the zombies, is that if a zombie gets a kill, it basically turns the other guy into a zombie. But okay, we're now at dawn, so they don't have any of their damage buffs, but we don't have ours either, but we're about to get them. So range attack, I can actually show one here. I think I'll show it on this. Okay, so one way you can see how well a unit performs in a certain terrain type is that the game actually tells you. So for example, if I were to deploy this footpad into this plain tile that's right next to him, he's basically he's operating at a 60%. I don't know what the exact term is. There are different terms that the game has regarding modifiers. There's a defense rating, a defense cap, and there's the terrain modifier. Basically, the higher the number, the better, basically. Let's take, for example, this horse. If I were to deploy the horse into a forest here, it's only at 30%, which is not good. But with this footpad here, he's at 60. And basically, he's really hard to hit the higher the number. If he's in, in the hex that he currently is in a castle hex, he's at 70%. So that's pretty high. It's just pretty sure that's as high as you can get in the game because there's certain caps you can't exceed. So yeah, we're gonna maneuver him here because he's light infantry and a skirmisher. He pretty much operates well in any kind of terrain. So we're gonna have him here, and we're gonna do a range attack against this zombie here. So here we come again to the combat table, and there's difference. So you can see the type of attack. So here's melee, here's ranged. If you had wizards and mages and whatnot, then there would be a magical attack. But in this case here, we're looking at the range here. So the skirmisher, he has two options, the club and sling. And basically the range mechanic isn't like you get to attack units in several hexes away. That's not how it is. There isn't any core unit that has such kind of attack. In other campaigns and scenarios, there are certain abilities that are coded in where you can do area of effect damage. But yeah, those are exceptions. But basically, having a range attack, you still need to go next to the enemy. But the difference is that if the enemy doesn't have a range attack, you basically get a free attack. So in this case here, we can deal 5 damage for 2 attacks with a 60% rate to hit and return to nothing. Because he doesn't have any range weapons, he can't counter attackers. So that's the difference here between the melee and the range. So this is what we're gonna go for here. Rolled okay, it's not bad. I'm gonna have to take a little risk here. We're gonna have to deploy our cav units early because it's not looking good, especially for our knight unit. Okay, so our knight, he's green because he's poisoned because the ghoul attacked him. So every turn that we end it here, he's gonna start losing health. He'll lose 8 HP every turn until we cure him. That's actually a lot more than I thought it would be, but okay. Okay, we're gonna have to strategize here. So this ghoul fella here is a big threat. So these skeletons. To deal with the skeletons, basically, okay, we can start talking about the. Okay, when we attack a skeleton, then I'll start talking about the damage types and resistance. But for now, we'll just keep on with what we have here. So 2 attacks, 18. Okay, I'm gonna take this one first. Okay, got him. Now we need to deal with this ghoul fella here. Okay, first we can recruit more units. Footpad is something that we need. Infantry is about to get into action. Okay, we'll go with we'll talk about the damage resistance and types here. Okay, so the footpad has 2 types of attacks, so the club and sling, and they are both what we can call impact weapons. And in order to effectively attack a skeleton, you need to have impact weapons. So you can always bring up the encyclopedia whenever you want, and you can come to the resistances tab here. So basically, here are all the types of damage that is coded into the game, and we're attacking him with the impact. So if you want to kill a skeleton or undead type character, you want to look for the negative resistance modifiers. So if we were to attack the skeleton with a magical item, which is arcane, or fire, or impact, which is what we're going for here, he gets negative modifiers. So we deal more damage to him, basically. If we were to try to attack him with a pierce or a blade, it would be harder to deal damage to him, basically, because it reduces the damage dealt to him. This is what the modifier, the positive resistance modifier means. So if we were to attack him with the spearman, we'd find that our damage values would be really, really low because they're really ineffective. So that's, and each unit type has its own resistance modifier. So you can always bring up the unit description and have a look at the resistance. So here you can see that our footpad is vulnerable to blade, impact, and pierce, but not so much to the rest. But overall, it doesn't, because it's a light infantry unit, it doesn't have any good modifiers like the skeleton there. Everything basically hurts us, but these things hurt us more. So that's how the damage types and the resistances work. So yeah, and we'll get the healing afterwards. But for now, we have a situation here. Do we keep the HQ unit here in the hopes of getting one more unit in, or do we withdraw? Okay, we'll do the easy decision here and just start maneuvering the rest of our forces up. Okay. Usually I wouldn't think this much, but because I'm recording and I know this is going to go on YouTube, I can't afford to screw it up. So this is interesting. Okay, this guy can't do much. He's just, I will deploy him on this side because he can get around on this end here, and we really want to hit their units as they're in the river because they get a lot of negative terrain modifiers. They're easier to hit basically. We don't do more damage, but they're easier to hit. Okay, what do we do here? I've got 2 hexes here. The commit forces to. If I try to attack the ghoul, I need to get both hits in. My guy will get poisoned, which is okay. Yeah, we'll go for that. Okay, couldn't quite kill him. We'll use our footpad to move in forward here. Get a ranged attack on the mounted zombie. Okay. Since we're already hurt, I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, so for our knight character here, he's got 2 types of melee attacks. He has his sword and his lance. So what I need to discuss here is the charge mechanic regarding the cavalry units that we have available. So the charge unit is the reason why, the charge ability is the reason why the damage value is so high on the mounted cavalry units. It basically doubles, as far as I can understand it, it doubles the amount of damage that you do with this lance here. The problem is that it's also a modifier to the enemy. So as you can see here, the enemy only has one type of melee attack, but there's different characteristics here. This one deals double damage. That's the reason with the charge, it's the trade-off. You get to do double damage, but so does the enemy. So that's the trade-off here regarding that. So we're not going to do that because we don't need to. This guy's already at 4 HP. We have a sword attack here, which we can do 4 attacks, 60%, 7. This here should be a guaranteed kill. There we go. So he's dead. Yeah. Okay. Everything has been deployed. Everything has been done. Yeah, we have to pass it over and hope we don't get screwed. Oh dear. There goes one guy. Okay, so this is the thing that's annoying about the ghosts is that their melee attack basically can gain health for them because they're undead. It's an undead kind of thing that they do. So basically, what you saw there is that every time that he had a successful attack on our footpad, he gained the health. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay, things aren't looking too good, but we'll be fine. Okay, we get another footpad, deal with the undead. Okay. We only have 1 cab unit, so we're not going to get a knight out of this, that's for sure. We've committed a little bit too aggressively here, but that was the point. That was the whole point behind the strategy. So I could withdraw this guy, but I'm not going to. We're going to press the attack here. It's already turn day. We have 25% extra damage. All our infantry is already in position to attack. We're just going to go for it. So, okay, he's dead. I want to commit the footpads to the skeletons because those are they're the only answers basically to them at this point in time. Okay, here we go. So this skeleton here is in the river. We can flank around this side to the embankment here and then get good hits. And as you can see, our the hit chance is 80% because of the negative terrain modifier that the skeleton is in. Okay, good hits. I'm going to play it a little bit risky here. I'm going to keep my HQ unit here and actually charge down this guy here. Okay, one tap that guy. Maneuver forward. Okay, so here's the problem. All of these units right here are 4 spearmen and bowmen in this southern area. As I said before, they're piercing attacks, and we're left with skeletons on the flanks. And they don't do very well against that. But we don't have any other options because we can't get in around. There's a zone of control, zone of influence type mechanic that I haven't mentioned yet. So if you're next to a unit, right, your movement characteristics are, if you're next to an enemy unit, your movement characteristics are hindered, basically. So when we get to, okay, for example here, this guy here, he can only move to these adjacent hexes because I've pincered him. I've got 2 units that are directly opposite ends of him, and they're exerting their zone of influence, so he can't maneuver anymore. He can't maneuver effectively, basically. But yeah, okay. I'm going to commit 2 units here to get some damage in here. It's not good damage, but it's better than nothing. Get a range attack against this guy for free. It did absolutely nothing, but okay. Can maneuver and occupy those forest hexes. We couldn't quite get past them because of the terrain. But yeah, we'll be okay. We're looking good. Lost another guy. Dear. Completely forgot that Ghost was there. Okay. This guy's screwed. No doubt about that. Okay. Yeah, he ain't coming out of this, so we're just gonna keep him here and try to do as much damage as we can. Try and knock this guy out. There we go. Nice. Okay. Okay. I need to get my HQ character out of here. So we're gonna go occupy this village here. So okay, so we can talk about the healing, and then we'll end the episode here. By putting a unit into a village, first thing that the village will do is cure him, so he's no longer poisoned, and then after that, it will heal his HP by, I believe, 8 points per turn or something along those lines. Yeah, there are 3 ways to heal units. So if a unit just stands somewhere, doesn't attack, doesn't move, and doesn't get attacked, he will recover 2 hit points on his own. He can't get rid of poisoning. In order to get rid of poisoning, you need a curing ability. So that's the other way. You can have healers and curers. So they're usually the same, although there are certain units that okay only do one or the other. But there are specific units that if you put them adjacent to an injured unit, they will heal them, or if they're poisoned, they will cure them. So those are the 3 ways you can regain hit points in this game. Which is why we're moving our HQ unit to that village here. We need to kill him and then heal him if possible. Okay, so I want to kill these skeletons here. They're the big threat. We're gonna focus this guy first and then go on for the second one. Okay, deploy our footpads against him. Okay, he's almost dead. We're gonna attack with this guy because he's got a little bit of XP and hopefully we get some more XP on him. Good stuff. Okay, do I press the attack on that guy? I'm gonna occupy this just so that it's safe. No, that doesn't make much sense either. Okay, instead of going after the skeleton, in which case will be 4-3 against this 5-3. Yeah, we're gonna go up against this guy and hopefully knock him out. Attack. Five to 3 at 50-40. Or 4-3. Yeah, no. We'll go here because we get a infantry operating in a hex tile, castle tile, good modifier, and it's daytime, so we'll take this attack here. I did absolutely nothing, of course. Okay, all right, so that's the end here. We will cut the video off here. So it's going to be 3-part just for the first scenario alone. Oh my. Usually, if you play it solo, you can get past this in like 15 minutes. But yeah, okay. I'll stop the video here and continue on in the next one. Okay, welcome back. We'll try to finish this scenario here because it's almost over. We almost got them. The only big threats we have left here are this ghoul and this skeleton, and our army is looking pretty okay. Hopefully our HQ unit doesn't die because we played a very aggressive strategy, so we shall see. The problem is here is that we don't actually have any units that are borderline close to tier 2, which is a big problem because we really need 2 tier 2 units to survive the next scenario because otherwise it's over. Oh, we got close there. Okay, there we go. He's cured because he ended the turn in a village. Okay, right. Let's deal with this problem here. Flank around that side there. Get good hits in. Knock this guy. Oh, come on. Okay. Won't be able to do much there. Do much better damage here. Okay, knocked him out. Alright, we'll go for the kill here. Nope. Finish it off with Spearman. There we go, thank you. Okay, we'll knock this ghoul out now while we still can. Ew. Somebody's gonna get poisoned, yep. Oh! Okay, we got lucky. We will press the attack because we are about to get into nighttime, so they're about to get damage buffs. So we're even playing field here, but so we'll just take the advantage that we have now. Done. Okay, we're looking all right. Looking all right. Okay. Yep. End turn. Okay, I'm gonna take some time to recover here because we have 10 more turns left. That's plenty of time. And we need to figure out how we're gonna get units to level 2. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna send this guy down here to capture these units because he's poisoned, he's almost dead, we don't want him in combat. We will occupy this with this fella here. We need to get this guy out if possible. Not looking good. Yeah, we're gonna have to engage these guys here at night. 12-6, that is not good at all. The reason why I don't want to pull this guy back here is that we formed a battle line. This is basically basic combat tactics in Battle for West North. So long as you have a line and you have adjacent units, they don't give any buffs. The only thing that does give buffs are units with leadership characteristics, which we don't have. Yeah, we don't have in this scenario. But in another campaign, if I ever do another playthrough, I'll talk to you about the area of effect of how the healers and the leader characters work. But in this case here, the reason why you want to keep them in the line is that it reduces the amount of hexes that the enemy can deploy units to attack. So basically this guy here is a weak point. But so long as we keep him here, there's only one other hex that can be occupied by an enemy that can attack him. So we can limit the number of attackers to anybody on this line to a handful. Whereas if we like have this guy here on the flank, right? There's 5 hexes in which the enemy could theoretically deploy units to attack this one guy, and he'd be outnumbered 5-1. So that's just the sort of way that the mechanics kind of work here. Now I'm contemplating trying to attack, which doesn't look good at all, no. We're just not going to even bother with attacking those guys. We're just going to leave it as it is. Form the line, keep it here, let them come to us, and try to survive until daytime. Yeah, he's dead as hell. Okay. Just double checking that he can't assassinate this guy here. Alright. Our hand is a little bit forced, but we want to isolate this guy and hit him with our blade and pierce units, so that's what we're going to do. Swing around the back. He doesn't have any melee attacks, so he can't retaliate. Keep that the same. So a good point to note is that the enemy HQ character is completely passive. It's coded that he doesn't move, he doesn't attack. That's the way that it is for this scenario. But yeah, let's try to finish him off. There we go. Okay, we've almost got him to level 2. This guy is halfway as well. Okay, we're looking good. We should be able to be okay. Okay, I'm just going to keep my HQ here to heal up for one more turn, then I'll commit him to the attack. Okay, so here's an extra thing about this scenario is that when you get to the second day, you get a free horseman that gets deployed next to your HQ. So that's good. I'll take it. So we need to get this guy out of here because he's almost dead and he is our most experienced character on the field. So we don't want him to die. We'll mop up these ghosts here. We have them surrounded. Withdraw. Cap this. Okay, how do we want to deploy this? Focus this one first. Okay. Almost. I want to try get the kill for the spearman here, so we get him low, and then we try to finish him off. There we go. Okay, we've got 2 spearmen at almost level 2. We've got decent amount of experience on this guy here as well. Alright, so basically, because the HQ unit's a level 2, if we kill him, we can give a bunch of experience to a single unit. So the question is here, do we want to give it to one of our almost leveled up units, or we want to give it to one of the half fellas? I think... yeah, I'm going to give it to this guy here. First, we need to get the health down on him first. Okay, what's there? $14 HP. Yeah, okay, can't kill him. Yeah, we'll finish him off. There we go. Alright, so that's the end of that. So here's the after action report basically. So we have won. We had 58 gold at the end of the game. So we finished early. We get bonus in gold that carries over to the next one. So 68. Yeah. But of course, the most important part is the experience we have on our units. So we have 3 units here that are almost level 2, which is good enough. I would prefer to actually have had the 2 units already leveled up by the time we get into the next one. But we'll be fine. We should be okay. So that will be the end of this part here. And then I will continue on to the next scenario. Yeah, it may not go well because I haven't quite won a scenario, the second scenario with just tier 1 units that are about to become tier 2. Because the second scenario is the hardest out of the whole campaign. If we don't make this one and we don't do it right, we're going to have to restart from the very beginning all over again. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Okay, welcome back. We are in the second scenario of the Tale of Two Brothers campaign. Basically, this guy needs to go find his brother who got captured by the undead in the last scenario. But now we have to face elves. Yes, because these elves are in league with the undead fellow. So there's that. Okay, so we start off with an extra unit. It's the guy that spawned in halfway through the last scenario. He's not loyal, but free unit, we'll take it. So here's what we need to do. We need to go find a dark mage that's further up north. But first we have to kill all these elves that are in our way first. And these elves are pretty deadly. They are all pretty much level 2, and there are a lot of them. So this is the victory condition here. We need to go find the kidnapper, make sure our HQ doesn't die, and we have a little bit more time to work with here. So we have 24 turns. So let's get at it. So right here, opening strategy. Very simple. As you can see, the elves that are right in front of us are in the open. They're on flat terrain. They're not in the forest. They're surrounded by forest X's, but they're not in the forest. Which means that at this point in time, they do have a 25% because they're elves. Elves are neutral, so they get 25% bonus during the dusk and dawn periods. It's about to become dark, so they have an advantage here, and then after that, it's even playing field until the next dawn phase and then the daytime. So we are gonna commit an attack. As far as I know, this is the only really valid way that you can go about this. We're going to commit our horsemen here that we're given free at the start to attack this elvish hero. Oh, this is something I didn't realize before. Usually I attack from the forest, but that's pretty bad actually. Yeah. So we're going to commit this attack first, and then we start building up the army. It doesn't. There's no like a in some turn-based games where you have to recruit. I mean, you have to buy your units, then you move, then you attack. You get to mix it up in this game. You're not bound to any one type of system system of steps basically. But yeah, this is the way that I figured out. This gives us the best chance to win this scenario. Is that we just go all out in the very beginning here. We need to get this guy out, get some damage in on this guy here. As you can see, because he's in the open, we get pretty good to hit modifiers. The moment an elf gets into a forest, it is all hell. Okay, if you in this game, if there's even a single tree on a barren wasteland and an elf gets to it, he becomes Legolas. That's basically how this game works out. There's a big bias to elves as far as I'm concerned in this game. Not that I don't like the elves. They're very good faction to play. They're very strong units and they all specialize in certain aspects, especially if you get them to a forest. But there is definitely a big bias for elves in this game. There's no doubt about that. So we're just gonna commit this attack here. Oh my god. Yeah, we got screwed by ING there. It's okay. We'll be fine. So now we get to the recall tab. So as I said before, as you can see here, the cost of recalling unit is 20 gold. Now this spearman's only worth 14, but the reason why we're going to pay this extra 6 gold is twofold. This guy's almost level 2, and he's a loyal unit, so he has no upkeep. What we are going to do is we're going to get rid of this guy here, because we're not going to pay 20 gold for a footpad with only 6 XP. So we'll just dismiss that clear. But we're going to get everybody else on this roster here. Now, unlike in the undead scenario, where the footpad is our main weapon of choice, against the elves here, especially against all these horses, we need piercing attack, which is basically our bowman and spearman. Those are going to be our core units for this little engagement here. So we'll just start getting all our boys back. So these guys, these 3 units are almost level 2. We need to keep them alive long enough to get to level 2. And yeah, pull all these guys back. Get more spearmen. Get a bowman as well. Still got some gold left over, so we can work with that. Here's the other risky play that I was talking about. So we've already recruited everything, so there's no reason why the HQ unit needs to be in the castle anymore. And we're going to take the extra attack here. So we're going to go up against this guy here, try and knock him out. Yeah. Yes! Okay, fine. 1 kill is good enough. We should be able to work with this. Okay. Yeah, he wasn't going to last either way. So the way this scenario works, right, is that they come at you in waves. So as you can see here, there's like 3 waves or so, 4. So first you had those 2 guards that we had to deal with at the beginning. And usually what happens is that you deal a lot of damage to this guy here with that first horseman, but we rolled absolutely terribly, so we did no damage whatsoever. So this first wave that we have to engage here is pretty deadly. There's no doubt about that. And we need to deal with them quickly. So basically, we have a mismatch in numerical superiority here. We need to take them out first before the follow-on forces come to us. If we don't succeed in that, we're going to get overwhelmed and we lose. And if I'm going to be honest, it's not looking too good. I didn't play the first scenario as well as I should have. But we shall see. We shall see. So we are not going to engage the elves in the woods because, especially with horses, I mean. That would be suicide. So we're going to pull this guy back. Now, the secret here is to occupy this tree line right here. So long as we can occupy this tree line with these 2 houses, as you can see, there's open terrain next to them. We want to force the elves to engage us in a mismatch where we have our infantry in the tree line and they are out in the open. And that's a fight that we can basically pretty much win. Yeah, it's not looking too good though. No, not good at all. I'm going to deny the houses, that's very important. Oh dear. Okay, call more units. Usually I play it a little bit risky and call in a horseman, but considering the situation that we're in right now, we're not going to do that. Now this guy here is definitely going to go and try for it, because the AI for the elves in this scenario are very, very aggressive. They just go come at you nonstop. So we have to be a little bit conservative. We have a good 1 more turn before these forces get into engage. So we have 1 good turn to kill all these guys. All right, let's go. Yeah, it didn't go well. Haha, okay, there we go. Right, this fella here is out in the open, so I'm gonna flank around, hit him. No. No. That would be a mistake, yes. We just need to hold out until daytime because it's not looking too good. This is not good at all. If we try to commit our attacks now, okay, this is actually not bad. We'll go for that one. We get a higher damage and a high percentage to hit. It should be okay trade. You've got to be joking. Okay. 15 to 12 at 40 to 60. We'll take it. The reason why, because this guy has a good range attack and now Spearman's right next to him. If we don't deal the damage here, he's going to get free hits on that guy. And because he's the more experienced unit, I'd rather have him take the damage now. So we set a screen up here, trying to extend our zone of influence. The problem is, with high tier elvish units like this in forest terrains, in forest hexes where they get bonuses and buffs, as you can see, the screen isn't that effective. They can pretty much still flank around. If this were any other kind of unit, you'd have a lot of trouble trying to get past this screen that we've set up here. But not today. Not today because they are elves and we are in a forest. And as you can see, you can easily disengage just like that, which normal unit wouldn't be able to do. And we just lost our most experienced character there. Okay, finally. Okay, we got one tier 2 unit. I probably should not have skipped that screen so fast because nobody saw what it was. Basically, for the Spearman, you get 3 options to go down. You have a different progression. You have progression tree basically. You have 3 routes. You can go a swordsman, pikeman, or a javelineer. We're going the swordsman because we need the swordsman to deal with this tree right here. Basically, the tree has a weakness to. It's called a woes or sapling or whatever. I don't know. It's a tree. As you can see here, it which one was it? So it's resistance to pierce, which is basically what the spearman is. But against blade and cold, it has no. It's basically even, dead even. We don't have any arcane or fire, but the blade and cold, we'll take that. And we also has a resistance of 40% against impact, so our foot pants ain't gonna do much here. But anyway, it is coming to daytime. We have to do something here, so that is still very bad. I could almost kill my character here. 24 to 32. This one's slightly better. Okay. I'm going to focus this guy down. This rider here. Okay, you got the kill. Okay. This guy here. Couldn't quite get the kill, goddamn. Start dealing damage to this guy here. But how are we gonna do that? Yeah, okay, I'll maneuver my friend over here. Got this attack. Not a good trade, but better than nothing. Okay, good. We're almost there. Alright. 60% to 42. Okay, attacking this guy here is a weak spot. This guy also isn't doing too well either. Better than trying to attack from an open tile, so maneuver like that. We need to stop this fella here. I'm not too sure if I put him here, it will be much of a screen. What I could do, actually, but it may not work. We're gonna try it anyway. Put him into here, the village, and then attack him in range. Okay. We just need to resolve this. So we're gonna commit our HQ character here. There's only one target for him. Yeah, I'll take this one here. Big risk. Yeah, it didn't pay off. Nice. Okay. All right. We're looking okay. We're looking okay. I'm out of gold. Well, at least we're not in the negative income. This tree here might wipe out this guy, but oh well. Yeah, he went for it. He's gone. Okay. They're retreating back to their house villages. Oh, okay, one guy came back. Okay. Oh man. He was the chosen one. Yeah, we might lose this one. Okay, let's get the XP from this guy here. Okay, he's halfway there. We'll heal this fella. Alright, the reason why we went for the swordsman is that is to deal with this tree character here. But can't quite get to that guy. He's about to get healed up. But these guys are low. So we're going to press the attack on these people here first. Good kill. Oh man. Now my knight has a good sword attack, and since this is the only viable target, we'll take it. Almost gone. Okay. Okay. Go. Oh, okay, this is not looking good. This is a very vulnerable position here. Oh dear. We'll see. If we survive this turn, we might have a chance. Okay, one's retreating. Yep, one came over. Second one. Third. Nope. Okay. Can't pursue that guy. This guy's almost dead. Oh, hell. Hey, get him out. That's what's important. Do I try to see if I pull the swordsman off the line, everything else is gonna collapse. I'm gonna play it risky here. Try to do as much damage as possible. Hopefully kill everybody before he gets run down. Okay. Almost there. Okay. Okay, none of their units can get in behind to attack my HQ, which is good. I need to pull this guy off the line. But then again, this guy's almost dead. One hit, but then he'll be dead. We get some XP out of it, but I don't think it'll be worth it. One hit from this guy as well. Yeah, okay, we'll pull you out of here. Good. Okay, yes, get you into there. Okay, we need to just hold our current position. We got this guy almost leveled up, this guy almost leveled up, this guy almost as well. We got XP spread out along the rest of the characters. We should be able to survive. Come on. Okay, he may have died, but both those Elvish characters are in the open. And we still got one good turn left. Oh, what? No. We'll be fine. Come on, one hit. Almost. Okay, good, good, good. I don't want to lose the swordsman. Not now. I want to get this guy healed up, but how best to do that? That is actually pretty dangerous. Holy crap. Okay. Alright, I'm going to commit these two guys to this horseman here, and we'll see what happens. Come on. Yes, attaboy. Okay. Alright, we're good. We're safe. I think we're safe. This guy has 12 attack. Yeah, he can't, even in those wildest dreams, he's not going to be able to kill him. Okay, we need to get you healed up there. We get you healed up here. Okay, we're getting gold. We can get some more reinforcements in. Okay, we are okay. I can't believe. Okay, we're going over time. So I'll stop the turn here, and we'll continue in the next part. But the main part of the battle's over. We're pretty good on turn time, pretty good on economy. Enemy forces are pretty much destroyed, and our boys are looking pretty good. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to the, what is this, second part of the second scenario. I've been recording this back to back, so I never had this intense of a game before, to be honest. And we're still not out of the woods, mind you, because if we screw up the next scenario, for the final mission, we may have problems. And considering the army composition that we have right now, we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. But let us continue. So we are taking off right where we left off before. We've got 2 units right in front of us. Swordsman's okay. He looks fine. He ain't gonna die. Yeah, we'll end here. We're probably gonna lose this spearman, but we'll see what happens. Okay. I think we might be better off withdrawing here than trying to attack this scout. But man, we are so close. Alright, let's deal with this fella here. We're gonna commit these 3 units to this one. We'll commit the swordsman. Maybe that may be a mistake. Oh dear. No, we won't attack. We will sit back and wait. We're trying to redeploy our units to the north here to set a screen so that they can't get in here to our weak units. But then again, if we can kill this guy here, we'll be okay with these two. We can set a screen against them. This guy's almost dead. He's at 13 HP. Yeah, he'd be dead if we do that attack. This one here is pretty good. Well, not really, but decent exchange for the range attack. Oh, swordsman. Would be dangerous. I mean, I don't want to lose this footpad. He's so close to getting to leveled up. What I'm going to do is put him in a position here. And then rotate this guy here and try to get him leveled up right now. Yeah. Oh, no! Okay, so here's a trick you can do, which is part of the game. You can... what is it? I think it's U. Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is part of the game, and it's not cheating, mind you, because it's actually encouraged in the tutorial. So long as you don't reveal any kind of hidden information. So for example, there's a little bit of a fog of war scenario going on. We can't see what's going on up here. So long as we didn't reveal any new information and we didn't conduct any combat, the game mechanic, and this is built into it, is that you can press U to revert a turn. Well, not a turn, but revert a movement, basically. And it actually stops you from doing this if you do an attack. So let's say if I had conducted the attack that, I can't press the U to redo that because we've already changed the game state. In the case here, it's for reasons like that happen. I'm trying to move this footpad over here so that I can get my spearman to make an attack here and hopefully get him leveled up. But because I was looking over the overlays, I accidentally moved the spearman. So that's how that works there. There, with this guy here, conduct attack. Okay, he's one XP point away, and he's got enough hit points that no one here can alpha damage him down in order to kill him. So we're looking okay there. Now this guy here. I think it might be better just to wait it out. Might just be better just to wait it out. I'm gonna pull him back here for added defense. I'm gonna withdraw to this point here. I think that would be better for us. Don't want to get caught up by the elves. Okay. This may be a mistake, but we shall see. Oh, yes. Okay, good. Because every time that a combat occurs, we get XP from it. So we're going for another swordsman. That's what we're doing. Nah, too late. Okay, okay. Get in there. Yeah, we're not going to risk it. I've already got a lot of good units going on here. If I try to play it the way like that. Because usually, okay, so this is what happens usually in playthroughs, is that people get greedy, which is what I'm getting to at this point in time. I'm trying to figure out, maybe I can try spread the kills to get the XP to get this guy up. But in doing so, I risk losing the game, basically, by losing units. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take the safe route now because we're so close. We fought a really hard battle. Just take the easy attacks. Try to get his kills here. Okay, good. Not going to rush into this one either, I don't think. No. Now, I do need to start attacking this guy because he has a range attack against my swordsman that doesn't have a range attack. So I need to start taking some damage here. And this is actually a pretty decent trade that we got going on here. So we will take that. Or, because my unit is already healing. Yeah, I'm going to swap him out from a spearman. play up here. Okay, yeah, we'll leave it like that. Ah, damn it. Okay. Let's get some reinforcements. Spearman, wait another turn and then get another guy. Okay, how do we want to do this? It's at 19. Yeah, I'll take this attack. Almost dead. Nice. Okay, he can't kill him alone, so we'll attack with this him, stop him up. Finish off with this guy. Yeah, we go. Okay, we need to heal this guy up. We've got 3 tier 2 units, and we're getting reinforcements in. Okay, we're looking good. Okay. Gonna move him up there so I can get the healing done right now. And we will get the spearman. Yeah, we will go forward. Okay, and turn. Okay. So basically what happens is that if you click outside of the hex, right, you can see the numbers that are below the percentage points. So if you do that, the game is basically telling you that if you want to move there, you can do the pre-planned maneuver and click there to move the unit, and it will take you 3 turns for it to automatically move at the beginning of the turn, basically. So what happened there was that I had clicked off screen to move it, but I don't want that maneuver because I'm already being engaged, basically. So I want to keep him there. So, and because it didn't reveal any new information and we didn't have any attacks going on, the game allows you to undo that maneuver, which is what we have done here. So, how do we want to kill this guy? There we go. Okay, we got a longbowman. Nice, good unit. Okay, move forward. We need to heal that swordsman up. Maneuver everybody else forward. Okay. Interesting. Okay, nice. Okay. When we get to this keep here, I'll start recruiting a couple more footpads or so, because there's some, spoiler alert, undead up ahead. Okay, we'll leave him here to heal up there. Okay. An amazing exchange. Nail biting stuff. I do not want to do that. I want to just get damage in so that we can get some XP for the spearman here. Which didn't work out either. Okay, so we're getting a little bit. We have 9 turns left, and we have quite a distance to cover. So we're gonna be a little bit more aggressive and push up now. Okay, so the final boss, well, the Elvish HQ unit has come out. That's a lot of XP right there for us. So we're gonna go over him. Did we get this kill? You've got to be joking. Okay, that happens. It happens. Okay. Once again, oh my god. So here's where I'm getting a little bit greedy. If I let him go, he's gonna get away, and then it's gonna be hell to pay. So we're just gonna kill him here with one of these guys. Goodbye. Okay, I need to get him up here. I need to get some horsemen to pursue the last objective. Okay. Okay, start recruiting. Okay, recruit 2 horsemen here, and then we can finish off the mission. So we just need to find some dark mage up here, kill him, and then it's over. But I do need some footpads. That's what I need. Okay. We'll get one more footpad, and then we will. Oh, we only have 5 turns left. Yeah, one more footpad, and then we're off. Cap that. Okay. Footpad. Okay, away we go. There we go. Okay. So this is the guy we need to kill. He spawns in these 2 fellas. I don't know who that guy is. We need to. Okay, we have 4 turns to kill this guy right here. All right. So these are level 2 skeletons. They're called Revenants. So they're just buffed up skeletons, basically. Now, I just wanted this guy to come closer so that my horseman can charge him down, but we need to wait an extra turn before he presents himself like that. So we will just maneuver around here, get our units up. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. The 2 turns to work with here. We can take our time a little bit. Let's see if we can take this guy out here. Because these are level 2 units. We can get some XP out of them. Well, why not? Okay. 14. One more turn. Okay, yeah. Yep, we can totally do this. Let's just flank around, make sure they don't escape. We got him. Okay, last turn. We have to finish it here. 16 HP. Okay. Nice. So I already have two. Yeah, we'll go with more swordsmen. I like them. Okay. And that is the end. Okay, so now here's a special thing is that this guy's going to give us two passcodes that we need to remember for the next scenario. So there we go. So those are the passwords there. Let me write that down. Because they change every playthrough. There we go. And that actually nicely ends the vid here. So we have a very decent army. We got quite a bit of gold towards the end there because we capped all the villages up to this point. So yeah, I will see you for the next scenario, the third mission. Okay, welcome back. So this is the third scenario of the Tale of Two Brothers campaign. We are taking off where we last left off. So this is the start. So we were given two passcodes from the guy that we killed at the very end of the last mission. And basically these passcodes lets us get past the gods. Now, there is actually a valid point to be made about incorrectly answering the passcodes. Because basically what happens is that you get to engage enemy units and get XP. But for this playthrough, I'm not going to do that. As I've said before at the very start, this difficulty setting on this campaign is extremely hard, and I cannot afford to take any unnecessary risks in this department. And actually, if we're looking at our current position, army composition-wise, strategically speaking, we're actually in the position to already win the campaign. All I need is at least 4 tier 2 units at the end of this scenario to carry on to the next one, and it'll be fine. We should have no problem winning and finishing the campaign. So I am not going to I'm not going to choose to optionally engage these gods. I'm just gonna bypass them, just go straight for the kill at the end of this, and be done with it. So let us continue here. So here's the first god. As for the passcode, it is this first one here. Correct passcode, and then they disappear. All right. So here are the objectives. We need to rescue this guy's brother, which is somewhere in some dungeon. We lose if our HQ leader dies or if the time runs out. So yeah, that's the objectives there. So we start off with a very big castle here in the very corner. It's open territory. Now what we have here is a underground fortress of some kind. So operationally speaking, once we pass this wall here, we're going to be underground, so all of our lawful units are going to be at a disadvantage because of the darkness. Or at least that's how it was the last time I played this. They may have changed the rules to make it a little bit easier, but that's one problem. The bigger problem, however, is that there are no villages inside the fortress. So if we start taking hits and we start taking damage to our units, we have to withdraw them all the way outside to these villages here in order to heal them up. So far, I've never run into the problem of time constraint. I've never had the turn counter defeat us before, but it's something to just keep in mind here. I should mention now, regarding the difference in the difficulties in this campaign, if we had played the easier difficulty, what would have happened at the end of the last scenario is that a heavy infantry dude would have popped up, so a new character. And he would allow us, if we let him join our party, he would allow us to recruit heavy infantry in our roster. And once you get the heavy infantry, this scenario and the next one is just completely a breeze. It's complete cakewalk. But because we're on the higher difficulty, that guy never shows up, and we never have the option of using heavy infantry. So there's that. But anyways, yeah, that pretty much covers all of the main differences here. So let us continue. We shall start recalling. All right, so we've got 5 tier 2 units. I mean, that's as good as it gets. Now, one thing regarding recalling is that the traits are pretty important. Some people I know will recall units based on the traits and the little amount of XP. The big one is intelligence. So basically, if a unit is intelligent, they require less experience points to promote themselves. I personally, for this campaign run, considering this is the second to the last one, I don't put much stock into it, especially considering the amount of gold that we have. So I'm not going to recall these 2 units here. We'll just recruit fresh ones. But everybody else here, though, they're coming along. So this scenario is a little bit interesting in the sense that we have to face 2 different types of factions, races. There are orcs and undead, and we have to fight them both at the same time. So as a beginner, this scenario tests your knowledge regarding the game mechanics, particularly the combat mechanics, the damage types and resistances. If so long as you know which unit is better against which enemy unit, you'll be fine. Yes, no problem whatsoever. So we are going to not get any horsemen because it's gonna most of the main combat is gonna occur inside. A little bit's gonna happen outside, but we're gonna utilize these hills here. So we're definitely gonna need another foot pad because there's gonna be undead. We'll take 2 in that case. There's gonna be a decent amount of orcs, so we'll take bowmen. And I'll take another spearman. Here we go. Cap this village and continue on. Okay, so that went by fast because we don't have any line of sight on the enemy. They haven't activated per se. So I'm going to send 1 footpad off to the side here to capture this village up here, and then he'll link up at the gate. I'm going to send another footpad off to the far flank here to get the villages on the western side. I'm going to cap up here. Okay. Now we want to be careful we don't overcommit because only once we get line of sight and we clear up the fog of war will the enemies activate. And because we're fighting orcs and undead, they're both mainly chaotic factions, so we don't want to engage them at night. So we'll just take our time here. Okay, here's the second group of guards. Give the second passcode, which is this one here. And there's that. Okay, we can continue on. So I'm just going to line my guys up here. Extend it out. I want to form a battle line just across this wall and try to occupy these hills. That would be decent enough terrain for us to operate in. Okay, it's now dawn. So it's the dawn phase, so we don't get our bonuses just yet, but this is good enough a time to start the engagement. So let's do that. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so we have detected, yep, all the orcs, hello. Hmm. Ideally, I wanted to occupy that hex, but if I move my HQ up, he's going to get ganged by everybody here. Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad. Okay, we'll just play it slow. There we go. Okay. All right. Now they gotta come out and meet us as the undead. All right, so this is level 1. Okay, this is a level. Nah, it's very hard to. It's not that hard to differentiate between the orc grunt level 1 and level 2. You just see how many swords they're holding. So this guy only has 1 sword, so he's level 1. This guy has 2, so he's level 2. And if you just want to double check, like I said, the right hand side bar here gives you all the detailed information. So here we've got level 2, level 2, level 1. Okay. Right, so against the orcs here, range weapons, that basically is your big answer to that. Let's just finish off our work on this end here. Okay, so how do we want to play this one? I want to keep the outlaw here. As you saw, it was quite effective, even against the level 2 orc in equal terrain. Our spearman here. If I'm going to trade with the guy, I might as well do it now. It would be just on death's doorstep, unless he gets really lucky. Okay, first we'll do the easy stuff then. We'll engage here with the longbowman. Not quite what I expected, but okay. Yeah, I'll switch it out because the outlaw is still basically a footpad, right? He's a light infantry skirmisher. He still operates really well even in open terrain. Our swordsman, on the other hand, 40% in open terrain, but 50% in a hill tile. So I'm gonna open up the combat width here by deploying the outlaw to the flank here in the open, and then deploy the swordsman in. There we go. And now we can continue the assault. I'm just going to throw the javelin first. And depending on what happens from here on out, then we'll commit our spearman here. Nope, did absolutely nothing, of course. Okay, we need to be a little bit careful. We want them to come out. We don't want to engage them just here, just yet. Okay, going to be a slightly risky maneuver, but we want to get into these hex tiles. Castle hexes with our infantry because they perform very well compared to all the other modifiers we get from all the other terrain. Now I'm going to move him here because he can only be engaged by this guy, which the moment he comes out into this castle area, he loses his chaotic. One way you can check is if you hover over the hexes and look to the right-hand corner, you can see what kind of modifiers are going on. So basically, along these highlighted areas is considered the open daytime area, but when you're in the darker areas that's underground, the chaotic fellas, they get their bonuses. So if this guy steps into the open here, he will lose his 25% buff modifier. Same goes for this other person here. And he can only be engaged by these 2 hexes here. This other orc can't make it far enough. So we'll leave him there. We're going to snipe this guy here with the bowman. There we go, easy kill. And no, I'm not going to commit my knight just yet. We got time, we got time. Okay. I'm going to charge down this guy. Nope, nope. I guess not. I won't charge down that guy. I want to commit my longbowman to the orcs here. But how do I want to play this one out? Damn. Okay, we're gonna let this ghoul come out and engages. I want to open up the combat with here with this guy, so we're gonna have to move some people around. We'll engage with this first. Get the kill with the spearman. There we go, perfect. Okay, now we can open up and engage behind the enemy. Almost leveled up. He'll get there, no problem. We want to engage the ghoul here. Alright, let's knock out the annoyance first. Then we can engage this guy. Okay, we'll leave him alone. We'll just maintain our position and then wait for the enemy to attack. Okay, not going too well for our commander, but he'll be fine. Okay, we need to deal with this situation, get him out of there. I'm going to take this risk because even if he gets poisoned, but he didn't. Every time you get promoted or a unit levels up, it resets their HP. So it's basically free healing. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier, to be honest. But yeah, now you know. Okay, let's get in behind here. See what we can do. I kind of wanted him dead there, but we'll be fine. Yeah, he went for the high tier unit. And then the orc came out in the open. Okay, you gotta kill. Okay, we'll finish this guy off. Okay, almost got him leveled up. We will occupy this with this. Couldn't quite get the kill, it's alright. Couldn't quite get the kill there either, it's alright. Alright. I want this guy to get the last kill on him. We'll get him close to level up, then I have 2 extra units that are close to promotion. Wow, okay. Alright, nice. Okay. Everyone's in pretty decent health except for the HQ, but that's fine. We are pressing forward. Okay, so the thing about units is that technically the rule is when you get to level 3, that's the max. There are quite a few other units where that's not the case. But for here, the swordsman, once he gets to this 3rd promotion, he gets turned into what's called a royal guard, which is this red guy knight. And that's the max. And what happens there is any experience accumulated basically increases his base stats. So he doesn't get promoted or turned into a different unit. He doesn't get any extra abilities or anything like that. But his base stats start to improve themselves. And of course, the big thing that usually is helpful is that when you do get the promotions after the max level, you still get that healing ability that we discussed. It resets your HP to maximum. That's usually very useful. Okay, so we're going to leave our HQ to heal up there, get the spearman healed up as well, and then we press forward. Okay, let's heal up. Let's go. Let's see. Can get promotion here. There we go. 2 outlaws. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and turn. I'll leave him more. Okay, basically, because I know how the campaign plays out, the brother is off here to the left-hand screen, and basically, in order to complete the mission, you have to move this brother to unlock the gate. You can't have any of the other units do it. But first, we need to kill this guy to get the keys. And we've already scouted out the whole area. He's got nothing left except his skeleton, which is going to take absolutely no time to deal with. Okay, yeah. Start maneuvering him up forward so you can finish off the mission. Get all the boys in. Should get all the low tier units in. Maybe try get a 3rd level on that guy. Okay, turn. Whoa, 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 okay. Slight miscalculation on my part, yes. But you're gonna die now. Oh my. Yeah, I wasn't gonna risk it there because he could easily have alpha damage any 3 of these units, so it's okay. We'll get the XP for the rest of our boys later. So there we get the keys. Go off to the left-hand side. There's the brother, and we just need to move him 1 more turn. And there we go. Mission accomplished. That's the end of that. We are done. And we are in a very good position for the last mission. I'm quite happy with how everything has turned out so far. I think I may have missed something. I think off to the right-hand side, there's actually gold. But that's fine. We can do without it. So that ends this episode here. And we'll see you in the next one. Okay, welcome back. This is going to be the final scenario for the Tale of Two Brothers campaign. We're going to skip all the story, skip the dialogue. Here's what's going on. So, yep, it tells us this is the last scenario. Find out what's happening. Well, I already know what's happening. I'll let you in on the secret. Now, we have different defeat conditions. So if we lose either one of the brothers, we lose the game. Or if we lose on time, in which case we have 24 turns. So those are the defeat conditions, basically. So now here we have the Fog of War type thing. So everything that you've seen so far, there's 2 types of Fog of War. You have the map-based, where it's just black, that you can't see what the terrain looks like and whatnot. And then you have this type of Fog of War, where you can see the map, you can see the terrain, but you can't see any of the units. And there are certain scenarios where you have both of these combined, where usually it's campaigns where you're going underground. You won't be able to see any of the terrain, and even once you uncover the terrain, you still will have this fog of war element here, where you have no information as to the enemy movements. And in this case, we actually have an ally. We have an ally up north here, and we can't even see him either, because that's how the game mechanics work. So imperfect information. Ooh, okay, so the way we want to play this is we just want to go straight for the enemy, which is right here. The enemy orc leader is right here. Our friendly ally is here. And usually what happens is that they commit their forces to try and knock them out. And that allows us to flank around through the mountains here. It's going to take some time to get through this mountain range here, because this is pretty difficult terrain for our units to maneuver through. But we will try nonetheless. So I'm going to try and get this village here and all the villages on this southern end. The brother here is a wizard, red mage. That's a level 2 mage. So we don't have any mages in our roster. We haven't fiddled around with magic and whatnot. If I ever make a let's play of another human campaign, most likely there will be mages in that, and I'll walk through the magic system and stuff. But we don't have any of those here, so let us continue. We will just recall all of our veterans. Now, as I said before, the minimum that we needed was at least 4 tier 2 units. We have exceeded that. And as for this last guy, I'm going to pull him because, I mean, he's almost halfway there, right? I'll take it. I'll take that extra XP, and we are out of cash. There's the end of that. Okay. I think this time I'll upgrade this guy to a pikeman just to get some variety going on here. Okay, this first enemy contact. I need to get my mage back here. If he gets caught out in the open, he's very vulnerable. He's dead. But it takes time because the enemy orcs are also, infantry based somewhat. They also have trouble trying to get across the mountain range. So okay, when they come out and engage us. Alright. This here assassin is basically, it's a poison. It has a ranged attack poisoning ability. We need to keep an eye out for that. These here are the Warg Riders or Wolf Riders. There's the Orcs skirmisher unit. Okay, so this guy's in the river, so we want to hit him now whilst he's still there. Okay, almost got him leveled up. Now we need the red mage to help us deal with the orc leader, because the orc leader is level 3, and we need that firepower. So what I'm gonna do here, yeah, I'm gonna risk it. Why not? Yeah, failed. Okay. Okay, yeah, we'll go with the pikeman. So basically, the pikeman is the main upgrade of the spearman. Whereas, because it's difference in weapons, right? The spearman has a spear, and the pikeman has a pike, and the pike and the spear are basically the same weapon. It just deals more damage. It's a first strike capability, and yeah, that's mainly it. Whereas, piercing. Whereas the swordman attack is a blade. Yeah. Spear is also a piercing weapon, so the different damage type. So we'll go with the pikeman. Oh dear. Yeah, we gotta get him out of there. I'm afraid that if I try to go for this village, he will still have enough movement points to get in behind. Damn. Didn't think this one through. Hell. We'll play it safe. We'll just withdraw all the way as far back as possible. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He couldn't quite get through. Well, now we do. He's dead. Okay, we need to save this guy. Nice, good kill. Okay, I can go for the... No, he wouldn't survive. We just withdraw all the way back. Yeah, he's safe. We get this guy all the way there, that one. Got him. There we go. That's the walk leader right there. Get our boys across. Oh, I forgot. Outlaws get hidden in forest. Oh wait, do they? No, I got that confused with the next upgrade. But the next, yeah, they don't. But there are like cloaking mechanics. Cloaking. I've been watching too much Star Trek. But there are certain units, especially the elves. Who would have thunk? If they go into forest, they hide. They're hidden basically. You can't see them until you walk up next to them with the unit, and then you get ambushed. And I'm pretty sure there are certain units where if you do get the ambush on an enemy, you get a damage bonus buff for a single turn against that enemy. I'm gonna need to double check that. But yeah, no. I only started because he blended in because he's poisoned, but no, he doesn't have the hidden mechanic yet. Okay, we're almost there. Ah, perfect. Yeah, Salad forth to attack. He's now in the open. Gonna get him here. Okay, good. We got our friend back there. We need to deal with this fella now. There we go. Nice. Okay, all our units here are safe and sound. Kind of. If we're gonna attack him, we better attack now, because the moment it turns dark, this level 3 orc is deadly as hell. Oh, so close. Almost there. Yeah, almost there. Nah, he's not gonna... Oh, okay. I was just about to say that he's not gonna be able to set a proper screen, so we'll be able to get in behind him, but no, he's brought back his units from the further up north. Wow, our swordsman is holding out. Whew. Okay, everyone's cured, everyone's healing. Let's finish it off. Oh. Okay, good. Okay, so then is an example of where the U command would not work. So since I moved this guy out, and I technically misclicked, I think I clicked here, but I want to get him here and attack. But he moved all the way up here, and then he detected, because he cleared up the fog of war, he detected a new enemy that we had not seen. So, which means if I press U now, he doesn't go back. I can't revert this move. So yeah, but now we want to kill this guy here. There we go. Good game. Oh my, this is the first time that I actually finished this campaign on this difficulty from start to finish without having to restart, and I got it on tape. I am happy as hell. So that is the end of it. So we got dialogue here, blah de blah, end scenario, recap of what happens after they win the battle, yada yada, the end. We are done. Whew. All right, cool. So yeah, that wraps it up for this campaign. I don't know if I will ever record any of the other campaigns. Eastern Invasion is a pretty good one, quite long, 16 scenarios. I've played through it on the middle. No way am I gonna play it on the max difficulty. This one was hard enough. The Hammer Thursigun, this one is very nice. The dwarves are my second favorite faction. Well, to be honest, I think I like them as much as the humans now. But yeah, these two campaigns, Hammer Thursigun and Eastern Invasion, they're a lot of fun. I have finished this one is a mage intensive human campaign. I've actually finished it once before. It wasn't on this computer, hence why it's not doesn't have the icon saying that I have completed it, and that's all right. I can always do it again. This one I've never completed before. Never completed this one either. They were really hard. The South Gun is a very fun 8 scenario campaign. Heir to the Throne I've actually finished once. This is 23. This is the longest campaign there is. But yeah, I'm not sure if I ever will do another playthrough of any of these. But yeah, okay. So that wraps it up. Thank you for watching. Hope people here have learned a little bit about the game, the core mechanics, maybe generate a little bit of interest. It's a very good game. It was released, I think, in 2003, so it's 20 years old now, and I've been playing it for almost 15. So, yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.